This is a Weekend Explorer Quick Trip. San Diego sits in the southwest corner of California. During winter off the California coast, you can see gray whales migrating to Baja California. The Birch Aquarium at Scripps has life-size gray whale statues welcoming visitors and is a good place to learn all about them. It includes a large collection of educational displays and aquariums featuring the marine life to be found off the Southern California coast. I took my visiting family, including my 2 young nephews here, to learn more about gray whales. You can even frequently see migrating gray whales right from the back deck of the aquarium during their winter migration. The Birch Aquarium also has great views over La Jolla and is considered one of the most romantic places to go on a date in San Diego. The back deck has simulated tide pools that even include rising and lowering tides, as well as a touch tank.
Dolphins squishing on it. It is. Touch it.
My young nephews Peter and Paul loved every minute. In the morning, we headed to downtown San Diego to take a whale watching tour with Flagship Cruises. Be sure to arrive early since you don't want to be left on the dock. Flagship Cruises depart right next to the USS Midway Museum. This is also a must-see when visiting San Diego. These whale watching tours start after Christmas and are great for the whole family. My little nephews enjoyed exploring the whole ship. My older nephew Tim cornered a Birch Aquarium volunteer to answer all of his questions on the many things to be seen around the harbor. San Diego is one of the best deep-water harbors in the world. For this reason, it is a major port for the military. It is also very popular for any number of water activities, from kayak fishing to sailing and even wave running. As we approached a buoy marking the center of the harbor's channel, we saw sea lions sunning themselves. The entire cruise is narrated by the knowledgeable experts of the Birch Aquarium at Scripps. This includes the pulling out of a tape measure that allows passengers to get a feel for how big gray whales and other marine life actually are. So we're out here just outside of San Diego Harbor looking for gray whales. They migrate down. They have one of the longest migrations in the world. It's amazing. The best time to come is right around Christmas. They start in the beginning of December and they go for about 3 months as they head down from Alaska to the bays of Baja. We're really looking forward to seeing a bunch of whales today. My nephew Brad and brother-in-law kept a sharp lookout for gray whales. The first thing we spotted after entering the Pacific Ocean was a group of sea lions on the hunt, jumping out of the water in what is known as porpoising. Bull sea lions can grow to be 7.5 feet or 2¼ meters in length and weigh more than 1,000 pounds or 455 kilos. It wasn't long before we spotted our first gray whale. Shortly after spotting the gray whale, we were surrounded by a large pod of common dolphin. As the name suggests, they are the most abundant marine mammal found off the Southern California coast. Where boats must keep a good distance from whales, dolphins are frequently attracted by boats. This allows you to see them up close and, if you are lucky, even get great pictures.
And these are the long-beaked species. So there are 2 different types of common dolphins, long-beaked or short-beaked, and these are the long-beaked. Very, very similar to the short-beaked, just a little bit different with the length of their nose or their rostrum.
Gray whales grow to as much as 50 feet or 15 meters in length and can weigh more than 40 tons or 36,000 kilos. This makes them comparable in size to a bus. Longer dives are usually preceded by the showing of their tail, called a fluke. This action helps propel the whale downwards. The gray whales off the California coast were hunted to near extinction by whalers until they became a protected species here in 1936. Due to this protection, this population of gray whales is now completely recovered. The western North Pacific population off Asia is not protected and is critically endangered. You might be surprised to learn there were gray whale populations in the Atlantic, but they disappeared off Europe around 500 AD and North America in the early 1700s, again probably due to whaling. Encouragingly, gray whales have been spotted in the last few years off Israel and Namibia. Gray whales are fairly habitual. This whale was taking 5 short dives, then 1 long dive, for example. The gray whale has one of the longest migrations of any animal, traveling from Alaska to Baja, Mexico each year, a distance reaching more than 13,000 miles or 22,000 kilometers. They live between 55 and 70 years. Gray whale calves drink an estimated 50 gallons or 190 liters of their mother's milk each day. This milk is more than 50% fat. The peak of the whale watching season off Southern California is the end of the first week in January. This is when the most whales pass by. Gray whales eat little or nothing during their entire migration, depending solely on their fat reserves. As we headed back to port, Birch Aquarium volunteers brought out examples of the gray whale's baleen and the crustaceans that it feeds on. It feeds on crustaceans that it turns up from the mud on the seafloor in Alaska and then filters them out using baleen like this. Interestingly, gray whales usually turn on their right side to feed, often causing blindness on this side in older whales. The tour continued back in San Diego Bay as we passed the nuclear subbase and people out enjoying the day. We even got to see more sea lions close up on the bait dock. Seeing San Diego from the water gives you a whole new perspective on the city, and I highly recommend it. All too soon, the Coronado Bay Bridge, USS Midway, and a cruise ship at dock came into view, marking the end of our adventure. Join us online at www.weekendexplore.com or follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook.